Good day and welcome to this presentation. I'm Benita Zulch and I will present the paper, The Impact of Climate Change on Property Performance, a Case Study. Introduction. Retail properties in South Africa have in the past been profitable. Although still profitable, the impact of various environmental attributes on the retail properties and the real estate industry at large is threatening the sustainability of this economic sector. South Africa has been faced with unprecedented natural disasters, ranging from wildfire, hailstorms, and heat waves. Globally, natural disasters have been on the rise. Given these environmental threats, economic losses due to disruption of the value chain and property damages may not be ignored. Retail property market. The retail environment in South Africa comprises of informal and formal retail trade. The composition in South Africa's retail market is intense, with more than 25 million square meters of formal retail space in 2019 and over 2,000 existing shopping centers. The retail properties had begun to outperform residential property significantly after the 2008-2009 recession and become South Africa's expensive property category. The retail sector operating costs per square meter outperform the other categories. Climate change and the impact of climate change on retail properties. Climate change refers to major changes in temperature, rainfall, snow, or wind patterns. The main characteristic of climate change is the increase in average global temperature. The question of what causes climate change has been debated over a long period of time because climate change may be due to natural variability or as a result of human activity. There is evidence that most of the warming over the last 50 years is due to human activities. The climate in South Africa seems to be affected by the changes in the global climate, but South Africa itself is a contributor to the global climate change problem. The implication of increased temperature and extreme weather patterns will largely be felt through impacts on water resources, such as changes in water resources availability and a higher frequency of natural disasters such as flooding and droughts, and will be felt on the real estate development specifically. Methods of mitigating the impact of climate change on retail properties. The measures in which the impact of climate change may be mitigated are the following. Investing in renewables. It's a change from coal to more sustainable energy sources such as wind or solar power. Policy matters related to climate change. Regulations were developed decades ago and are outdated. Property developers should examine the climate risk profile of each asset within their property portfolio, assessing each one on its location, design, structure, operation, and maintenance. Retrofitting existing buildings. It will be a wise investment and less costly to plan from scratch instead of retrofitting buildings. Green building compliances. Properties have to be designed to be energy efficient. For example, natural ventilation and energy efficient lighting and equipment. The aim should be to meet a 4-star Green Star. Maintenance and stormwater management. Stormwater drainage should be inspected and maintained regularly. Water resources. Water shortages are expected in future due to climate change. Therefore, investors should design, build, and retrofit property assets to be water efficient. Numerous profitable ways to reduce water consumption exist. For example, water efficient amenities, the harvesting of water in rainwater tanks and then to use it on a later stage. Reduce, reuse and recycle building materials. It will help reduce the humanity's environmental footprint. It is imperative for construction companies to minimize pollution by reusing and recycling construction materials, and it might reduce the capital cost for new buildings. Innovative building technologies. The South African market has various approved alternative building technologies. Most of them are energy efficient. Research methodology. The research methodology for this study is the mixed method approach, which combines qualitative and quantitative research. The study was based on primary data collected via questionnaires from 18 representatives of retail shops, the population operating at a shopping mall in Gauteng, South Africa. The questionnaires were distributed by email to 18 respondents, and 14 of them responded, a response rate of 78%. The questionnaire was divided into 3 sections. Section A, collecting data on the level of experience. Section B, focus on collecting information on respondents' understanding of climate change, meaning, causes, and effects of climate change on retail properties. Section C collected information on the respondents' opinion on the measures to mitigate the impact of climate change on retail properties. Findings. Section A, 50% of the respondents had experience between 5 to 10 years in the retail property industry. Section B, the results indicated that the respondents have a fair understanding of climate change. Data on the opinions of respondents on the impact of climate change were as follows. All 14 respondents, 100%, concurred and agreed that there is an increase in demand for electricity and water due to extreme temperature. 93% of the respondents believe that climate change will damage property and that prices of goods and services are likely to increase. 86% of the respondents believe that climate change may lead to mass mitigation and that insurance companies are likely to bear huge losses on insurance payouts. In the fourth place, 79% of respondents believe that climate change disrupts daily life and that climate change brings great risk for safety and security. Section C, the respondents' opinion on mitigation measures. It is notably all respondents concurred with statements A, B, and E. In the first place, with 100%, creating a culture of carbon consciousness, increasing the use of renewable energy sources, and employees should be empowered on environmental issues. In the second place, on 93%, the goal towards innovation, proactive in developing green products and services. In conclusion, the purpose of the study was to examine the impact of climate change on the performance of retail properties, with specific reference to a case study of a retail property in Gauteng, South Africa. The study recommends mitigation measures that minimize the negative impact of climate change. 3 objectives were outlined: to examine the causes of climate change, to investigate the impact of climate change on retail properties, and to recommend mitigation measures. Climate change is a phenomenon that the respondents understood. The causes of climate change are air pollution, human pollution, uncontrolled use of fossil fuels, and man-made factors such as carbon emission. It can be deducted from the data that the human factor is at the center of climate change. Climate change was found harm the retail sector through increased operational costs due to high energy consumption by high demand for cooling and heating, and damage to property that results in increased insurance premiums. There are various mitigation measures, of which creating a culture of carbon consciousness, increasing the use of renewable energy sources, and empowering employees on environmental issues are the most important. I thank you.